Welcome to the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If it's your first time here, hit the like, subscribe to this channel, and welcome to the Blah 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 podcast. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Marlene of the Marlene Saunders Show. And on this channel, we podcast about important topics and conversations, those that many people don't want to have, many people don't want to talk about, but we talk about them here. So let's go to the chat, and we have in, hi Kyle, how are you doing? And we have Forever Mimi. Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here. If you could hit the like, I really appreciate it. So today's show, we're talking about we get lost um because of life and stress. We get lost. We get lost in ourself. We get lost in first. Let's talk about we get lost in ourself. Because we may not get the support and the encouragement and the love that we deserve. We may get lost. We really don't know who we are. We get lost because we have not determined for ourselves really who we are, what really is our purpose, what really is our value. And you do have value, you do have importance, but when you have people in your life that are very toxic, hurtful, mean, vindictive, evil, all of those things, we get lost. We get lost in trying to make them happy. We get lost in trying to people please. We do. We really and truly get lost. Instead of really honestly thinking about ourselves, we think about them. And sometimes we get lost in our children too. You get lost in being a mother or a father or a grandparent or aunt, in helping other people. We definitely get lost. And I wanted to have this conversation because just because you get lost for a little bit, it's okay as long as you find yourself and find your willpower to say this just can't happen or enough is enough. I do think that it happens sometimes because you're trying to be somebody that you're not, or you chose somebody. And now we're going to get into the other place where we get lost. We get lost in ourselves, but we get lost in a relationship, trying to make a person happy, trying to think that somebody is our match. We get lost. We definitely do. You think that somebody is a way, and they're really not. They are not who we thought they were. We try to be all of these things. We try to be supportive of them. We try to be encouraging. We try to do so much, and they're just not it. Okay? They're just not it. So we have to change that. When we're in a relationship, yes, well, it's nice and all of those things, but don't stop taking care of yourself. We get lost in making them happy, or we get lost in doing things for a relationship just to say we're in a relationship, And if or when it goes south, hmm, then we are left with ourselves once again. That's why it's important that no matter who we are with, whether it's our siblings, our relatives, or in a relationship, that we determine to be ourselves. We continue to work on our self care. We continue to do the best for ourselves. We continue to work on our goals and objectives. We allow ourselves to be happy, but we get lost sometimes trying to be a great boyfriend or girlfriend or a great spouse. You're trying your best to be that for them. And if it's not reciprocated, if you choose this really grimy, low vibrational, weak minded, lazy, you know, person, and you're letting yourself get lost in them because they're controlling or jealous or evil or all of the above, and we want to keep the relationship because sometimes you choose the person to be in a relationship, and it costs you your happiness, it costs you your joy. And there's nothing in this world that should cost us our peace of mind. Absolutely nothing. Nothing should cost us that. But, we live and we learn. And I think that's the thing that matters the most. As long as we live and we learn and we grow and we mature and we take care of ourselves to the best of our ability. That's what matters the most. And another space where we get lost in friendship sometimes because we think that somebody is a good person because either they've deceived us or because we want a friend so bad to hang around that we make our own self believe that somebody is actually a good person when we're probably seeing red flags from them or in any of the relationships that I've talked about. We ignore the red flags when we see, who they really are, and we convince ourselves that, oh, I'm just tripping, or we listen to them when they say, oh no, or when we see like the blatant lies, when we see the disrespect, when we see things, but we cover it up, and we sink down deeper into a hole, and even sometimes we fall into deep depression because we sacrificed our hopes, our dreams, the things that we believe in, our values. Even sometimes you sacrifice your morals to be with somebody as a friend or in a relationship or with your relative. And the last one that I want to talk about is that we get lost sometimes when it comes to the workplace, whatever it is that you do for your money. We get lost in a job. Everything has its place. Of course, go to work, take care of your business, but it can't be all business. It can't be all money. We also have to think about other relationships that we have, like with your relatives, with your romantic interests, with your friends. And also, we forget about ourselves. You're so busy pursuing the money that you're not sleeping, you're not eating, drinking, and taking care of your health, getting exercise. So while it's important to, of course, work, take care of yourself, your family, but make sure you're pouring into other relationships as well. Don't lose yourself in friendship. and sacrifice your romantic relationship, or don't get lost in working that you forget about your children or your relatives. It's about balance, and we can't get lost inside of relationships. We can't get lost inside of making everybody happy, and we never make ourselves happy. Um, Honestly, we have to determine for ourselves what we actually want. We have to determine what is beneficial for us, and never forget to show our self love, never forget to take care of ourselves. And I understand that we enable people. We sacrifice, we make a lot of sacrifices for those relationships, and it may not be reciprocated. We don't get back what we put out there, but as long as you find yourself, that's the point of this podcast. You can get lost with your children, with your siblings or relatives, your children, your significant other, your job, and friendships. You can get lost and only thinking about them and focusing on them. But as long as you allow yourself to be found, as long as you come back to yourself, don't get so lost that you never can be found, or you get so lost that you start having be your best. We have to honestly think about ourselves. We honestly do. We have to think about ourselves and what we want and what we need. It's so important to do that. Go after your hopes, go after your dreams, love yourself, and forgive yourself for when you didn't know what you wanted and what you needed, or you didn't follow through in moving past fears, or you listened to other people to stop you from your goals and your hopes and your dreams. Don't get lost, everybody. Be found. Find yourself. Find strength from within. Even if it's a romantic relationship, because romantic relationships can come and go, but the love that you have for yourself is everlasting, or it should be everlasting. So make sure you know yourself. Make sure you're pouring some of that kindness and consideration inside of yourself. Know your worth, everybody. Know that I'm worth it. I'm worth the time, the effort, and the energy. And you may have to push some of those other relationships to the side sometimes so that you can take care of your personal care, your mental health, tap into your spirituality. That's important for your well-being. Don't get so lost trying to make everybody else happy, you know? Hi, Miss Tamika. How are you doing? Don't get so lost trying to make everybody happy that you never make yourself happy. Um, we do get lost sometimes. We do. We get lost in trying to make others happy that we don't make ourselves happy. We try to make our significant other happy. We try to make our friends happy. You try to make your children. You try to make your job. You're there for everybody but yourself. So if you're lost right now, you can be found by putting up boundaries, by learning to respect yourself, saying no and meaning it. Don't say no and then after they ask you 2 or 3 times, you then say yes. Say no and mean it. So, to anybody who feels lost right now, maybe because you didn't put up boundaries or because they may not respect you or whatever the reason is, you can change that at any period of time. You can change being lost and you can be found. I think everybody gets lost at a certain period of time because you want to do so much things to make them happy that you forget about yourself. And it's very easy to do. It's very easy to get lost in taking care of your kids because they need you. It's so easy to get lost in your relationship because you want to please them and make them happy. It's easy to get lost with your relatives, your quote unquote family, because you want to make them happy as well. You want to be supportive. You want to show them love. But are they showing you love back? That's the difference. Love goes both ways. Love is an action word. So don't get lost trying to make people happy who don't care about you. I've spent many years doing that, pouring in my effort, my time, my money, sacrificing everything to make others happy. And I was miserable that whole time. So for me, I never allow myself to get lost anymore. Now I will support if I can, but if I can't, the answer is going to be no. It's about us knowing how what way we want to go, what direction, and then making choices. I don't want to support that or I don't like it, and stand 10 toes down on that. Whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you don't want to do, firmly believe in that position. Take your position. Don't be wishy washy. Don't be, on both sides, not really making any decision. And that's what people know. People know when you're not a person that can make decisions, that it takes you time, or they know when you're weak minded. Um, I hate to say it like that. I'm not trying to be negative to anybody, but you have to be a person that I'm going to make this is my decision. I'm going to say yes on this or I'm going to say no on it and be firm on it with all relationships from your children to your romantic interests on the job. Be firm. When I say no, it's no. And when I say yes, it's yes. Let your yes be yes and let your no be no. I really appreciate everybody who tuned in to today's topic and podcast. And if you're lost right now, you can be found. Pour some love into yourself. Be aware of your worth and make people respect you, even if they don't want to. Even if they don't like you, make them respect you. We don't have to be lost. We can be found at any time if we want to. Remember, love starts within. Love yourself first before you try to love anybody else. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to all my mods. Shout out to all of my chat family. Thank you all so much for the 1K subscribers. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And if it's your first time tuning into the Marlene Saunders Show, we do podcasts Mondays to Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate you for tuning in. Leave me a comment in the comment section below if you're watching in the replay. And if you were here live in the chat, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you all. And I will see you all tomorrow if it's God's will. Bye bye, everybody.